Hi, my name is Wyatt Groth and welcome back to the Hammersmith DIY channel. In today's product review, we're going to be talking to you about this product, the Pyramid Post Cap. Roll the intro. Now, if you like what you see on this channel, please subscribe and don't forget to hit the bell notification so you keep up to date with all the different videos that we have. Now, this stack of products here, it's not a piece of artwork. What it is a stack of different pyramid post caps. And this was the best way of me illustrating the various sizes that we have. We start with a 90mm post cap, another 90mm post cap, a 100mm, 115mm, 125mm, 135mm, 140mm, 150mm, and 200mm, the big boy. Now, when I talk millimeters, what I'm actually talking about is I'm talking about the size of the post. For example, this would be a post that this type of cap would go on top of. So if I take the most common cap that we produce, which is our 90mm post cap, you can see here the way the cap is manufactured. What this does is this goes over the top of a 90mm post and creates this effect. Now, before I start going into the various sizes we have, let's go into some of the details and specs about these particular products and what they're used for. These products are specifically designed for outside application to go on top of a post in a fence post, obviously, for outside use. Now, you could use this product inside if you wanted to. There's no reason why you couldn't. Paint the product, perfectly fine, but its main purpose is for outside use. And the reason these post caps are all designed for outside application is they're H3 LOSB treated. What that means is they have a treatment put on them that will mean that decay and wood rot and that sort of thing is going to be less of an issue with this post over time. But, and here's the important point, like any treated product, it's really only good if you then maintain the product the right way. And it's important when you maintain these products is that you paint them. They are not designed to go outside, left in the raw finish like you see here, because what will happen over time, a fairly quick period of time mind you, is this treatment is only a surface treatment. It'll be removed, so to speak, by the sun, just drying it out. Then what happens is the cap starts cracking, and then what happens is water starts getting into the cracks, and eventually wood rot sets in, and this beautiful cap that you've purchased will start looking rubbish. So what is really important with these caps is that you paint them, give them 2 or 3 coats of paint, pop them on the cap, and then over time, you may need to give some more coats of paint. It's not unusual to get a small amount of maybe cracking in some of the end grain stuff, but if you keep them looking good, these caps will last for a long period of time. So please paint them, it's very important. In terms of fixing these caps to the posts, once again, this is also important because a fence post is what you see on the top here. This is the bit that's going to be rain and everything's going to be falling on. This is what's called end grain. The end grain will crack over time and then water starts getting into those cracks, goes through the post, wood rot sets in and the post starts decaying. Clearly, you've spent all this money on a really nice fence. You don't want your post to start decaying because that's going to be quite an expensive process to replace. So that's why a fence post, capital, whether it be a timber one here or any of the other ones that we sell on our website, we also have them in glass and metal. That is why these caps are important because they actually help protect your post as well as we think they make your post look better. So let's go through the different sizes that we sell. Once again, I showed you the 90mm. We also have a 100mm post capital. When you turn the cap over, you can see here on the underside of the cap, they have a recess section which is designed to drop over the particular post. You can see there's a couple of holes on the underside also. You can ignore that. That's purely from a manufacturing point of view, how we actually produce the cap. But the idea is, drops over the top of the post, and it's the quickest way of actually putting these caps in place. So once again, that's a 100mm post cap. We then go up to a 115mm post. You can see here I've got a sample. This is actually a 112 by 112. The 115mm just drops over like so. Then we move up to a 125mm post cap. Next one is the 135mm post cap. Then the 140mm post cap, keep on getting bigger. 140mm post cap, 150mm post cap to go on top of a 150 post. And finally, the big boy. I mean, it's funny, this particular cap was one of the more recent ones we manufactured. We had someone come to us and say, oh, could you produce a cap bigger than 150? And we're like, well, how much bigger do you want it to be? And they're like, well, we'd really like one at 200 mil. And we're like, oh, okay. So it took us a bit of time to work out how to produce it, and this is the cap we end up making. You can see with these other caps here, they typically come out of the same sort of thickness of timber, whereas this one's actually coming out of a slightly thicker section, so it's got a bit more bulk to it. But the concept's still the same. It's a pyramid style. It's still got this rebated section below, but you know, that is a big cap. When you put it on top of this 90mm post here, it looks pretty ridiculous, obviously, but it gives you a real perspective as to the difference in size. You know, here we go, 90 versus 200mm. The final cap we have here is one we actually called our Balmain cap, and this was an idea we had where we actually use an existing product here, which is this particular post mold that we sell, and then we decided, well, could we mount this to one of our caps? So what we did was we took one of the caps, I think from memory it was this one here, I think it was the 140 from memory, and we put the mold in underneath it, securely made the product, and then this drops over a 90mm post. And it does give an interesting look. It's obviously a fair bit flared out compared to the other caps, but it's been quite a good little seller for us, for someone who wants something a bit different to the traditional style. This certainly has a bit more of a presence on a fence post than what, say, just the regular 90mm would. Now, just finally, in terms of fixing purposes, how to actually fix these to the top of your posts, look, we don't recommend you get too involved in how to do it. Really, all you're wanting to do is a bit of glue, maybe some sort of exterior adhesive. We do sell exterior glues through our website, but you can buy any sort of exterior adhesive in a local hardware store. Dob a bit on top there, push down on that, and that's going to nicely hold in place. If you wanted to, you could, if there's a bit of a gap underneath there, you could easily get a bit of sealant of some sort, exterior grade sealant, and just cover that gap is also fine. Now, these post capitals, although this capital is made for a 90 by 90 post, in nearly all of these capitals, the actual recess is 2 or 3 mil above the typical size of a post, and then we do that deliberately so that it will drop over the cap nicely. And the idea is, if there is a little bit of a gap, it's not something you're going to see because it's going to be from the other side. You're not going to see, you know, you can see here this way it's got a particular gap. You're not going to see that because the fence post is going to be like that, and that's the way the product is. Now, all of these products can be found on our website, hammersmith.com.au, but I've also included links to each of the products in the description below in this video that you can click on to take you straight to the site. Otherwise, just jump on the site, search for fence post capitals for external application. It's fairly easy to see, and you'll see these capitals, as I said, as well as the glass ones and the metal ones we sell, and they can all be found on our website. If you like this video, please hit the like button below and feel free to drop a comment, as I'll reply to any comments we have on the site. If you want to keep up to date with more great content from the Hammersmith DIY channel, please hit the subscribe button below, and also remember to turn on the bell notification so that you can be told when any new video is loaded. This is Wyatt Groth, signing off.